Boris Schlossberg, Managing Director at BK Asset Management.
BK Asset Management's Kathy Lean.
Hey. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you guys can. Let me mute myself here. All right, we're starting a little early just because, I feel like riffing a little bit. Say hi to me in comments. Any kind of questions? We're just chilling. I am shorting gold very happily here. Above like 62, 63. I shorted it. Let me show you what we did a little bit earlier today. Let me show you. Oh, am I in the thing? Yeah, why is it not showing? Because I have settings off. Okay, here's executions. Yeah, so selling 59s, buying 57s, selling 61s, buying 60s. Could have bought the 60s. My favorite trade always is to the fade side. We'll talk a lot about this. Good morning from Singapore. How is everybody doing? It's actually good evening in Singapore, right? Bobby, how are you? Good to see you guys. What are you guys trading? What's everybody doing? You know what? Let's do a little poll before everybody rolls into the room. Let's do a poll. I'm curious what everybody's trading here. Where's the live chat on over here? Oh, this is kind of cool. Where's my? Oh, here's the chat. Oh, okay. There's like a live chat panel now on YouTube. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Hey, Pakistan in the house. Very nice. Okay, let me do a poll here. I'm curious. What are you trading the most now? And we'll do gold, crypto, FX, or indices. All right, go ahead, guys. We'll keep that poll going for a while because I'm just curious where everybody is focusing all their attention, what you guys are doing. We're starting early with like a half hour before the open. So, as I said, my favorite trade, the gold is kind of had a, obviously nice corrective move below the 25.50. I bought below 25.50. This was a super easy trade here today. I'm going to sneeze, guys. I'm sorry. Fuck. You know how like when you need to sneeze and you can't? Just the torture of winter in New York already. So yeah, like, one of my favorite trades, even though this was like only a 3 label on the sell side, as I said to you, there's 2 ways to trade my strategy. You can trade momentum and be buying higher highs, selling lower lows, or you can trade reversal, which is sell, highs, buy lows, buy the dips, sell the rips, versus sell the rip, versus buy the rips, sell the dips. It's hugely dependent on your personality and how what are you most comfortable with. Regardless of how you do it, there's a very strict set of rules of how you want to follow. Obviously, when I'm trading trend, I want to be early in trend, just when moving averages start to separate. That's the easiest, most highly productive, most highly profitable, most highly probabilistic side. This is when you want to be buying the rips, going with trend. And then once the moving averages kind of really, really get fat, once you get that whole big zone between, that's when you want to start maybe looking the other way. But regardless of how you do it, there's a very, very strong methodology of what I like to do. So if I am in this case, buying support, quote unquote, in gold, and I bought the 45s because we broke the 50s, bought the 45s over here. This trade stopped me out because not in this case because I bought it on the smaller size, but it fell from 46 all the way down to 42. This is the reason why I never ever make the first trade my final trade. I get stopped out. I went back twice the size over here on this level, boom, right back up. Trade totally gets done. Then, and this is, I love this trade all the time. When we make a next break below the moving average, and it tends to be higher, right? It tends to be like, we've had this big sell-off, and then we have another sell-off, but it's clearly at a higher level. It's clearly a little bit more exhausted. That buy is just money. That buy is so easy money because they're selling at a higher price. They're kind of exhaust selling. And the exhaust selling is the best possible buy. The reason why exhaust selling is the best possible buy because you're getting the cheapest price at that particular moment in time with very likely the least amount of follow through, right? Like what can go wrong when you're buying the dip? It can just keep dipping, right? But if it's exhausted, it's pretty much spent all of its energy. So you're buying pretty much the low price at that moment or very, very close within the low price and boom, it pops back up. I never hold it for the full pop, but this is one of those, my favorite setups ever. You've already had the big exhaust. Then you try to make a second exhaust a little bit at a higher low, right? And buying that dip usually gives you incredibly high probability trade, to do your business, to do your scalp. So gold came in under 250. I was happy to buy it. I took all the dips and traded it back up. Then it starts racing back up. It recovers 250, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm not standing in its way. If I was a trend trader, I probably would have been buying all of this, but I was busy. I was in meetings with Singapore, by the way, all morning long. So I didn't have a chance to really look at the market. But then, when the meetings kind of got done around 7, I said, oh, we're in the 60s. We're now like, level 5, right? We've had already 5 breaks through the moving average. This is a pretty decent, sell. And again, what am I doing? I'm selling at the peak rise. I'm selling when everybody is buying because I want to, capture that slope to the downside. If you think about it, my price entry is as dear as it can possibly be at that point, right? Which means that I have the greatest possibility, if it just retraces just a little bit, to make money. If it goes higher, no big deal. I'll reset myself at a higher level, but that's going to give me even more probability because it's going to be even more expensive, more dear at that point. So, this came in. Then we have the second big wave up through, and again, I sell, the wave up. I buy it back. Again, I bought it back too early. And now we're sort of, floating around. Still very much selling the 63 level here would have worked very nicely if I had done it. We'll take a look here. What's happened here is the moving averages have kind of compressed. I'd like them to, I'd like this maybe to get up to like the 270 level now before I want to play the short side. This isn't a bad sell. Like I wouldn't have a heart attack if I sold at the 63.2 level here. And if you want to, oh wait, hold on a second. My whole TradeOvate is not on here. All right, let me log into my account. What I was going to say is, when I'm, I'm not getting into the trade right now. All right, I'm not going to see if I can get into that. If I am like not certain about the trade, what I will, oh, shit, again, I rushed it. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I got to close this out. Okay, let me do this again. Okay, now I'm properly sold, or I'm probably going to try and sell. When I'm not sure, if this is the top and I really want to take a position, I'll take a tiny little position. I'll go in, micro lots and just get a probative trade. This works. This works great. It's, $20-$30 to the good for me. It doesn't work. I can work my way up to a larger size at a better price if it's working. So if in doubt, always trade small. Always trade small. Or not, don't trade at all. If you need to scratch that itch, do it with a tiny, tiny little trade. So, this is a $250,000 account. I'm trading a $20 trade, which is fine because this isn't really a legitimate entry. We've already had the real profits were here and here and here. Yes, this could be it looks like it is. Where are we? We'll take this right now. All right, we'll take the 16. Looks like, okay, that worked. So that, that trade worked to the downside. Yes, this was the resistance line that kind of worked, but it also could have also turned much higher. And there's no reason for me to fight, to fight the fight after the third or the fourth trade. It's not about this trade. It's about this trade in the probability spectrum. It's about this trade within the possibility of trades. Is this a really good possibility, or is this kind of mediocre possibility? If it's a mediocre possibility, I'm happy to do small size and just do tiny trades. All right, what time is it? Oh, it's 9:10. It's still early. Everybody's just crawling into the room. I'm just riffing about some of the trades I made in gold today, which are all really working nicely. This is the micro contract. This is the big contract. You can see that I sold some more. I missed a whole bunch of opportunities. By the way, how easy is it to do $1,000 scalping if you just follow methodically, my rules? Whether you're trading trend or counter trend, following the rules within the scalper, which is the hardest thing to do, is just simply to actually follow the rules. Really, especially days like today, let me just show you. This is $200. This is $200. If I took this trade over here on the highest, another $200. If I took this trade, $200. And as I said, I wasn't going to take this trade because it was already the third trade. So it's still, now it's 300. That's $600 over here in just an hour and a half. And then obviously I bought the dips over here twice. So that's $1,000 from 5 until 9, right? 4 hours worth of work, $1,000, super easy. You're not even remotely close to entering the danger zone. In all of these positions, I was never down more than $200-300 in drawdown. But you have to just be patient. You gotta really, really watch your entry. The less random you are, the more tactical you are, the easier it gets there. So what else? You guys want to say hi to me? Everybody seeing the screen? Everybody's good? Who's in the room here today? I know I started early, so feel free to ask me anything that's on the it's on your mind right now. I'll wait for everybody to start. We're supposed to start in about 3 minutes. I kind of started way before that. Let's see what the S&P is doing. The other thing is S&P. I was really looking. I'll be looking to buy the S&P around the 605, 6,000 level. That's been tested. Basically, the 25 level has been a big resist level, and the 6,000 has been a big support. And if I'm within those levels relative to my indicator, in other words, it's stretched to the upside or it's stretched to the downside, I'm happy to make bid there and make some trades. It looks like this is kind of chop city. This is why you don't want to trade the S&P here. Anytime you're compressed and the moving averages are next to each other like this, where there isn't any kind of separation, there isn't any kind of delineation, whether up or down, you got nothing. This is just an absolute waste of time. And probably the single best thing I can teach you is whenever you see a pattern like this, where the moving averages have not separated, they have not shown you any inclination for direction, total waste. This is the first inclination for direction we have. From 8:30 onward. By the way, do we have news? What did they sell? What did they sell on the 8:30? What happened here on 8:30 that we let's say Thursday? Was it core PCI? Oh, PPI. PPI came out and that was hot. That's why it dropped. I'm not even paying attention to it. So PPI came in. That's interesting. So still hot. Labor market's still good. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that the Fed is going to be loose. What are the two moving average? I'm using 8 period and the 200 period. The short term and the long term. Really, very little difference, whatever value you use, but as long as there's a lot of discrepancy between the two, but it's basically short term, long term is what I am using as my averages. Good morning, Mr. Rockies. Yeah, PPI, you're right. We're trading PPI, and that that definitely popped us. So yeah, I was just basically saying that how much easier it's been to just grow the P&L when I'm scalping using my indicator in its proper format. Like in terms of the other thing is, I think I made it so much easier on me and hopefully on you guys in one labeling the moves, we're labeling the waves, so that once you get to the 10th wave or the 11th wave, and you're stretched away from the moving average, the probability of going to bounce back either up or down is going to be much higher. And then when you're in the early parts of the wave, where it's the second or the third wave, you obviously have a lot more continuity movement that goes your way. Having said this, though, even when, and this is the key thing about momentum trades that I don't like, is that you could be right on direction, meaning that this 2 signal definitely has more continuation to the downside, but still gets stopped out on the retrace, right? That happens much less frequently on the other side. If you're buying the dip, there isn't much of a continuation to the downside. If you bought this dip over here at 3 to pop back up on it as a contrarian trade, there's much less heat, much less stress on your position. Haven't even looked at the S&P, at the NASDAQ today, but NASDAQ is also just chop city. Just all of this is totally garbage. And this is very much, by the way, if there's one lesson I want to teach you, is that when you see this, and by this I mean complete like this, price action just completely with the 2 moving averages near to each other, just leave it alone. There's no trades there at all. Good morning, Miguel. How are you? How are you guys? Anybody trading anything overnight? What did you guys trade? Anybody trade gold? Oh, look at this. Only 2% trade crypto. Super interesting. Super interesting. And just 20% trading FX. Everybody trading indices. What did you guys trade today on the indices? Wow, everybody voted. I'm surprised. Wow, that's really interesting. The fact that only 4% trading crypto is probably very bullish crypto. Market not crowded at all, still. As, very limited sample, but still kind of cool. Kind of cool when you think about it. Okay, what do we got? NAS is just twisting around. 9:17, we got 13 minutes to the open. Where's my gold? Gold is starting to pop. Okay, so this is what I remember. I was telling you I took a small shot at it because I knew it is likely going to maybe extend. So now I'm perfectly happy. So gold is kind of extending. It's really stretching itself to the moving average. 58 is the moving average. We're at 65. That's almost 3 times the 10 basis points is about $3. So we get about $9, $10 away from the moving average. Like right now, to the 67, 68. That's a very, it's going to be a very attractive sell point for me. And this isn't really a setup of mine, so I don't want to do bad habits with you guys. Although I'm sure this is gonna work. The key, the setup you want is when it goes up to the higher level, sells off, and then comes back up. And I want to sell that, sell that label, sell that 14 label up there. But it might as well. We're not here to putz around. Might as well we can sell the little one. Let's see if I can sell the little one. And this is the micro contract, and get in front of this thing. I just missed the limit trade. We'll leave it alone. Yeah, I had a feeling that this, that spiked out, but it may still extend. We could be walking this all the way to 270 because gold is kind of doing a recovery trade today. But the real trade that I would want is dip below, come back up above, like label number 16. I definitely want to short that. I'm happy to short that at size. But for now, we're just going to let this play out. Hey, Christoph, you're from what time is it in New Zealand? Isn't it like fucking 3 a.m. or some shit like that? It's got to be so late, right? What is it in New Zealand? All right, so I'm in on the micro. If this rolls me over, I'm more than happy to give it up at 69 because 69.70 is going to be a pretty significant corrective level. At which point, it's going to attract even more sellers, and we'll get some profit taking, hopefully. Again, tiny little trade for me, but if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'll get larger, higher. So you kind of see that my strategy, which has been very effective this week, and I see a lot of people are doing it in the room. They're doing it pretty successfully. It's not complicated. It's just a matter of making sure you're coming in at the right levels, at the right signals, and get larger if it gets higher, and get larger if it gets smaller. With reasonable size, obviously. All right, 9 ticks to the reverse, probably 10. All right, I'm going to take this trade, close position, just because, again, took like 12 ticks on that, which is fine. And it drops all the way down. My target is 2020, but this isn't really the trade that I want to do. So it did drop off, and you could see how when you're patient and you're trading extremes, I love trading the edges. Trading the edges is where you have that short-term edge itself. The edge is in the edge. Oh, I like that. I think I'm going to use it at Trader Fest. By the way, who's coming to Trader Fest? All of you bastards better be there, man. It's going to be an awesome show. I have so many cool guests. So I would, I'd love everybody to come in. Everybody's got the link, right? Everybody's got all the registration link. Everything else, let me know if you need me to post it in the room. How do I know where the Christophe, you said NZ, isn't that New Zealand? And then you said no, Paris, France. Okay, hold on a second. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. NAZ. Oh, NASDAQ. Oh, NASDAQ. You're trading NAS. Are you trading NAS? Okay. Yeah. How do I know where the top has been? I don't. I'm probabilistically guessing. All of my trades are all probabilistically guessing. So why did I think there was a reasonable probability that was kind of a top trade? Well, first of all, remember we've been trading above for quite a long time. We're like at the 15 label, right? So once you get into double digits, you already know the trend is getting mature. Secondly, the 65 level has been sort of like the resist level, the high level for the day. So I knew that once we broke above the 65, the 70 level is going to be the next real testable level. Once we got to 67, 68, the distance between the long-term moving average and the short-term moving average was almost 30 basis points. And that's a really, really good rule of thumb, generally for most of trading, which is if I'm 10 basis points in gold is $3, right? Kind of just a rough rule of thumb. If I'm $3 above the short term is $3 above the long term, like right over here, right? That to me is actually the start of a trend. and I'm early, and I have 1, 2, label 2, label 3, somewhere around that. That's a good start of a trend. Here, I want to be buying dips on the assumption that I have some continuity. So I'll buy the 2, I'll buy the 3, I'll buy the 4 purples, I'll buy the retrace labels very happily, because we've gotten enough liftoff to have air flight. Trend is all dependent on liftoff and air flight, right? Whereas if we were just like, right over here wobbling around, here's the ES. See, okay, in the ES, 10 basis points is about $6, right? 6,000. So do we have a $6 liftoff? Here was 20 up to 23. No, it's not even $6. It's just half of a move, right? All of this is so tight that it's not a trend. This is the first move over here where we have like a $6 difference, 621 against 12, definitely like much more than 6 already. That's like a $10 difference. But this is the establishment of trend to the downside. We have liftoff. Now you want to be selling the purples. So this one you may sell. You may have gotten stopped out on a V-shaped recovery, but selling this one was a perfectly great trade. 1450 came down all the way down to 1175. Trading it with 2. Selling this one over here at 3 was a great trade. 1650 all the way down. So my entry is always on the opposite of what what everybody else is doing. That opposite sometimes is with a larger trend. Sometimes it's against a larger trend. But I always want to be on the opposite side to give myself the best prices. But I'm analyzing it based upon the relationship of where the trends are, based upon what's going on, and based upon the actual price levels. So like if this thing comes down to 6,000 and we're like at least 20, 30 basis points, maybe 12 to even 18 points separating the two moving averages, you bet your ass I want to be buying here. Even if I get stopped out, I'll be buying again. If I get stopped out, I'll be buying again, because that thing is going to pop. That's it. I'm just probabilistically guessing all the time, using small size, and then resolving my trades by having far more margin than I need in order to be able to resolve those trades. And that's how you monetize it on a minute by minute basis. Does that make sense to everybody? On gold, short label number 16. I don't know. Let me see where we are on gold. I got distracted. 15. Yeah, like right now, gold does a dip and a rip, meaning it does a purple label and a green label. So purple is the reversal label. 15 is the continuity label. 16, I want to be selling. Absolutely, I'm happy to be selling 16, even if it has more to go. I will resolve it. I'll put myself in play. Let's look at gold and the S&P side by side so we don't miss idea. S&P is a sell until it's a little bit late to sell right now, but market. What time is it? We got 2.5 minutes to the open. We'll see. Maybe they're going to rip it to the downside. If they take it all the way down, I'm happy to be buying. It looks like they're going to rip the gold to the upside. I'm happy to be selling. I may even sell the 70, which is not exactly my setup, but it's a level setup. I may sell that just in small size, just to get a little bit more money, while I wait for the trades. Tempted to want to short this, but it's the stupidest thing in the world to do 2 minutes before the open, because you just never know how much order there is on the open and whether they want to rip it in your face all the way up to like the 18 level. So, I don't need to be a hero right now. There's plenty of other opportunities that are relatively easier to do. Good morning, everybody. Please sure answer my my poll. I want to know what everybody is trading. Where is the poll? What happened to the poll? Did we close the poll? Did I lose the poll? Or must have closed it. All right, we'll do a new poll. Gold is definitely a fade, definitely a sell at this level, but no signal for me, so I can't really do much. Any more questions here? Was that there was an ambulance? You're probably right. There was an ambulance. Yeah. It's bricks that have gold through the roof. Okay. Heard today China is like Brazil is cozying up to China, trying to disrupt Trump's, economic plan. Lula could not be voted out of the communists could not be voted out of the office soon enough. This is we kind of just died out. I was saying, oh, this is definitely a short over here at the 68s, but I just didn't have it set up. Now here we get the the rip and dip, the V-shaped move here in S&P, right? This is why I no reason for me to short this thing at this level. Now we kind of compress the levels up here. Want to watch and see if this is a sort of a fake move here for the upside. 35 seconds into the trade, market really lifting this up. I'm pretty sure it's a bullshit move. But if I want to play around with it, I'll play around with it on the micro level. So I have I did not get. See, I wanted to get over here. I didn't get my trade. All right, sorry. Just fooling around here. Oh. All right. Should have been in here. I wanted to offer over here, but I didn't. Gold inching towards the 70 level. Which is going to be a great level to short. NASDAQ also ran through the 50-60 level, also an interesting level to short. But we really don't have any trades here right now. All right, gold getting through the 60s. We're going to get small first. I'm going to join ask over here, see if I can get. I got to 69. So I'm in at 69 on gold, just on a small size. 20 ticks up, 20 ticks down. So 71 would be my stop. If this rolls through 71, it's fine. I'll get larger when it gets stronger. Now S&P has spent a good hour under, in a negative trend, and maybe they want to push it all the way down. If they push it, you clearly 605 will be the first level of control, and 6,000 will definitely be the next level. All right, so when I have I'm not watching the screen. I want to take 14 ticks. Okay, so now this actually now remember we talked about the 17 label. Who's it? Christoph was asking me about that. Yes. All right, whatever. I got filled. Another small win, just adding up to my thing. I should have gone the full contract. I easily could have, but I'm trying to teach you guys good manners in terms of when you don't have the proper risk set up. No need to be a hero. There's 1,000 trades. If you're going to take the trade, take it small and just, let it work out. Any comments over here? China's buying Brazil wheat and Brazil is buying China EVs, direct trade. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're definitely, the BYD is just making a massive, massive push into emerging market nations. And the cleaning our clock on the EV front. All right, NAS is coming back up. Maybe it's going to recover the trend for now, but let's see. Oh. Yeah, there was like multiple shorts. You're right. I mean, gold is done. There was like, lots of interesting shorts. So now gold is 17. All right, so gold is 17 label, which is good. I'm waiting for this thing to get up there. Let's lay it out. It's probably going. I'm actually going to do half size. I'm going to do half size, and then I'll get large later. Like right now, I'm at 75. All right, I sold the 75. Big push up. Gold probably is going to go to 72 on this push. We'll see. Maybe not. That's why I took a probative trade on gold at about half my initial opening trade. If it rolls me over, great. I'll just get larger, higher. If this kind of peaks out, all the more power to me. But this is the 17th label. As I said, remember, they're going to test the 70. They tested, they're testing the 70 now. Let's see what it wants to do. Yeah, pretty strong move. Yeah, and I just, I covered myself up a little bit. It's probably going to drop more. But remember, this is my first trade, first level. I don't have to make the full two. I can make whatever I want, and I'll take whatever I want. So, that covered it up nicely. Again, that 270 sort of worked. Let's see where it goes. If it now comes my favorite part of the setup is, are we exhausted? Is 270, kind of like the top level? If we are, the next 5-10 minutes is going to start coming down. Where is this thing? Let's go. Next, 5-10 minutes is going to start coming down. It's going to go purple label. And then the next gold label, which will be the 18 gold label, probably going to be low or high. And that's going to be a beautiful short, right? It's going to be a really nice, clean short if I can get it. Or all my plans could go to hell, and this could be the peak value, and this thing drops all the way down to 259, and I don't have any chance to short anymore. It's fine. I don't make the rules. I just want to trade the rules, But here's the sort of very George Costanza perverse aspect of trading that I discovered, and why my trading just got so much cleaner and easier. So when price breaks the moving average, right? Everybody thinks, oh, it's a breakout, and sometimes it is. Like, this is a breakout. This is actually a breakout over here. But most of the time, in fact, I would argue 3 out of 5 times, maybe 4 out of 6 times, it's actually the peak, right? It's the peak. And if you combine the fact that the move through the moving average is only good 2 out of 6 times, it means 4 out of 6 times is the peak, with the key level, with the expansion of the moving averages, with all those other combining factors, then you have a really high probability chance of getting a good trade. So this was 17, very, very old move, peak level, lots of separation, and to 270 level. There's like 3 or 4 things that were going on over here that gave me lots of comfort in trading this level to the short side. You guys kind of see that? I did half size, yeah. I did half size instead of full size. Should have done full size, of course. Yeah. You always want to have bigger on your winners and smaller on your losers, but that's only obvious in retrospect. Oh, here we go. Looking at the equity starting to come down. Remember, I said to you, I want to be looking at the 6,000 level. I want to be looking at that level as a potential trade. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ways of trading it, and frankly, if you're patient enough to let the scalper do the work for you, you'll have a much higher probability trade. I'm unfortunately just an inveterate gambler, so I don't follow my own rules. But the proper rules, in terms of, like, let's imagine this thing drops. Maybe it will, maybe it doesn't. But if it does drop, the proper rules isn't to go out there and stick your head out in front of 6,000 and try to buy it, and then buy it deeper in the hole and try to resolve it. That's one way of doing it, but it's a stupid way of doing it. It's really testing the gods. The really smart way of doing it is it drops through the 6,000. It kind of, dribbles. Then it consolidates back up, right? Whatever level is. And then it does a second moving average break to the downside. And it's that second moving average break to the downside that's a much, much easier, much cleaner entry, because that's the exhaustion break to the downside. You can buy that dip and trade it to the upside. It's a buy for NASDAQ. I'm not even looking at NASDAQ. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. What do you got for me on NASDAQ? NASDAQ is dipping like a mofo right now. It's not a buy for NASDAQ for me at all. It's actually low, label 1 on NASDAQ. It's, if this rips back up, it's going to create a new purple label. I mean, you could try, you want to fool around and believe this is kind of like, near-term support at the 16 level. It could be, but NASDAQ is kind of crashing. Again, I'm more than happy to stick my neck out and try to buy the falling knife in small size, because it's a lot of fun. But it's a really stupid way of doing business. I'd rather wait for the fury to die down and buy the dip on a second wave or a third wave, because that's going to be a much higher probability entry. I could have made bid here at 98 and it would have resolved. It's a lot of fun. I love buying the dip and then selling it 2 seconds later for a profit. But sometimes it doesn't work, and then you're spent and shot doing this stuff. Okay. Oh, by the way, check this out. Let me see if this works. Do you guys see that on? Let me see if this works, because I'm fooling around. Oh, it doesn't. Does it work? No. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, it's cool. Yeah. This is a feature I just discovered in StreamYard that I can actually post your comments, which is kind of cool because some of your comments are definitely good. Gordon, what are you talking about? Manners? I'm just trying to picture you getting the old pit agents to sit down while trading. Are you talking about my potty mouth, or what other manners do I not have? I mean, I have no manners whatsoever, but what specific What specific manners are you referring to, Gordon? By the way, you see how we're dipping down, right? You see, I'm sitting on my hands. This is, I've traded this enough times and gotten hit enough times that I'm not stupid enough to want to stick my hand into this trade. Okay, we're in the 6,000, right? Again, very tempting to just want to buy the round number, see if it pops. And, we could if we want to putz around. I mean, here, you guys want to putz around? The only way to do it is just micro size. So I'm actually going to micro size with 1. Jesus, I'm really going to just get tiny, tiny, tiny. Let's get tiny, tiny, tiny. Still bought it too high. Probably going to get stopped out here. Let's see. I'm down. Maybe not. We'll see. I doubt it's gonna pop all the way back up here. I bought it too low. It's gonna dribble all the way to like 95 before it does. I bought 602.75. That wasn't a great buy, but I was just fooling around. But I'm happy. I'll get larger as we get bigger. Okay, can I get there? 601s. All right, picked up 601s. And let's see, I'm going to see if I can get 6 ticks out of it. Oh, come on, baby. And I'm out of it just for, again, shits and giggles. This is not a trade you want to be doing. You can do this with a larger contract. And yes, I could have resolved it for like a nice, clean 60, 70 bucks. But, it's picking up nickels in front of a trade. It's fun. I'll be the first one to admit. I love clipping ticks on extreme edges like this. But, you got to understand this. You have to do it ultra small. Because, the moment you think that this is an edge is the moment you're going to slice your throat off. Because, what I'm really waiting for is some semblance of non-pukiness, some semblance of markets calming down a little bit here, because this is obviously the clean sell-off into the open, right? We haven't had this in a while. Market opens, pure sell-off, probably around 10 o'clock, 9:46. The first wave of selling kind of gets done, and we have a chance to actually trade around the edges with some edge. You know what? Let me put just moving my trading platform around. ES is the next short. No, I'm actually, so like ES is really, really stretched out. So let me sort of walk you through my thinking, right, wrong, or either way, but kind of this is my thinking. So ES is like what, 17? What's the long? About 18. We're like 30 basis points stretched away, right? The move is really, really stretched. So what I really want to do, if I get it, is this thing is going to pop back up, pop back down. It's going to give me like label number 5, label red number 5. I want to be buying the 5 label. I want to be buying that sell-off, because I think it's probably going to sell off into the bottom. Or if it goes further down, I'm happy to average out into that sell-off, because I think it's going to be close to a near-term buy, right? So I'm not looking to sell this. First of all, I don't have a signal to sell this, right? I'm not looking to sell it. Now you could do it the other way, where it's going to give you a number 5 purple label, which is the reversal label, and you can try to sell like right now. Try to sell this as a top, but one of the things I'm always very leery of when you get a big move like this is a V-shaped recovery, where you get 2-3 big candles to the other side, and you just get sliced into a V-shaped recovery. Ultimately, you're gonna be able to resolve it, but it might go like 12 points against you. You might have to have three or four trades, against you at this level. So, not my cup of tea. I'd rather either this consolidates and I get a red label later, or it goes V-shaped and I'll get a red label a little bit later in the trade. I'm waiting for the sell-off that I can pick up rather than a pump that I can sell. But this could be a very legitimate trade. Just be prepared that if it doesn't work, it's gonna go V-shaped, and you're gonna have to go 2-3 times into the trade to resolve it, right? I mean, you want to see how this happens. I'm happy to show you, like with small size. I'm gonna go small size here. Join as. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, because I'm such tiny size, I'll be able to work against the V-shaped recovery. But if you're a trend trader, this is the retrace entry where you want to be. But as I said, because it's so stretched out, the moving averages are so far apart, you're much more likely to get a V-shape. As my wife, who's a hedge fund manager, inelegantly puts it, they're going to stick it up your ass. So that's exactly what they're doing right now. So now you have to go a little bit larger. And again, I'm doing tiny little trades here to see, to basically see if I can resolve it. But like you see, it's just, it's going to do a V-shaped recovery. See, like this. And now until you're small, you're just not going to. Okay, you're not going to get a chance to resolve this. And now you got to be sort of much more managerial about this thing. And let's see, look at this. This is why I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to show you what happens if you do it, and what you need to do in order to survive that kind of move, right? First of all, I'm trading tiny. Second of all, I'm trying to hit the crest as much as possible, and then I'm going to try and take it back at just break even levels, because I'm not I'm really not looking to at this point. I'm not looking to really win on the trade. I'm just trying to break even on the trade, because it definitely was a V-shaped move here, right? And also I'm preparing myself in case it has to get larger. I got to get bigger. Okay. And I resolved it back out, basically break even. I mean, I could have made a tiny bit of money, and the fever finally broke. But you needed to just fight this thing, right? Precisely because it played exactly as I said. It's going to do this. It's going to do a V-shaped recovery, and if you want to play with the big boys, you better be prepared to get punched. So it took 3 punches. I had to get myself out. And the thing about that kind of trade is, because you're already 3-4 levels up. At that point, you're just trying to get out alive. You're not really trying to win. You're just trying to survive. And so it just becomes not a wasted opportunity, but basically a scratch opportunity. So that was a good example to everybody. How do I know so much, Monica? 1,000 days, 100,000 days, 10,000 days of watching this shit every single day. You kind of know the crap they're gonna do. I mean, you don't always know, but it's just like when you're around people a lot, and when you're around your family, you know exactly when somebody is happy, when somebody is sad, even if they're trying to hide it. Same kind of thing. It's all about pattern stuff. All right, so here we get. Now it gets kind of interesting. So I'm watching the red trade here. We're gonna puke all the way down to the red side. Let's see. Here's the 5 label. Is this a great buy label? No, probably not. It's probably gonna go down a little bit lower. But it's worth a shot for me. It's what I'm gonna do right now. I gotta get myself organized here. I'm gonna do again. I'm just gonna start small with this, just on a 2. Oops. Join bid. Can I get it? Okay. I'm in at 605, just on a small basis, trying to buy this dip. Would I've loved to have seen, the red label be somewhere around over here? That would have given me greater confidence that we're sort of bottoming out. But this is a first signal that we're kind of getting close to some sort of a puke bottom. If this goes against me, I'm more than happy to average down all the way down to like 96s. And again, I'm small here. I'm not buying large. All right. Almost had it. There we go. There we go. Come on, come on. And I resolved it out. For a little profit here on a trade. Could I have done this with a larger contract? I could have, but I wanted to give myself ample room, and I didn't want you to. And by the way, look at this. As we're watching the NASDAQ, this NASDAQ second buy was also a really good buy, right? You can only do one thing at a time, but this was a pretty decent buy. You bought the 87s. You got stopped out over here. You would have bought over here. It totally popped up, and you would have resolved in two trades. So this is what I mean about the fact that when you're trading like this, you're not looking to be right. You're looking to be probabilistically right, which is a very, very different approach. It's where you're saying, I don't know if my first entry is going to be a good one, but I'm kind of confident. I'm like maybe 30% confident that's going to be a good one. The second one, I'm like 50% confident. And then maybe the third or the fourth, I'm like 60, 70% confident. So as you are doing this properly, your confidence should grow on the setup that it's working, that it's working your way, right? Because you're constantly buying better prices in a more stretched out environment. So, okay, I'm showing you the setups. Last few days, they seem to have been a pattern. AM down, afternoon up. DAX is cooperating. Yeah, that happens a lot. Next trade long on purple at 5. I don't buy the purples. And are you talking about like if it was a purple 5? I don't like to buy the purples because again, I like to buy the dips, sell the rips, right? So, but it wouldn't be a horrible example. It wouldn't be a horrible idea. But again, when I'm buying something that's rallying, it has to rally further, right? And so naturally, it's very vulnerable to a retrace. Like for example, if you like right now, this would be a sell to me. This would be more of a sell to me right here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Let's give it a shot. On NASDAQ, let me go to MNQ, sell. All right, so I'm short NASDAQ. This rips. I'm gonna fight this much. I'm a tiny little contract, but no, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. That worked. See, close position, and that worked out. So, Christoph, why do I like? Why did I not want to buy this? Because first of all, NASDAQ is notorious for faking you into a trade, even if it's a good, higher high trade. It's almost always going to just come down before it kind of races up, right? So the probability that a retrace was going to be pretty good. Secondly, because this still looks like a pretty strong sell to me. We're only like label 2. The trend has kind of started to the downside. Now, the only thing that could really screw me is a V-shaped recovery back to the upside, and I don't see too much reason to go a V-shaped recovery, right? And so selling this in a classic trend fashion, meaning we're negative trend. This is a purple trade, and I'm going to sell the peak of the purple. And that means I'm going to be against the super short-term trend, but with the long-term trend. Definitely worked, as a trade. So here's a 5 label over here. Also, probably a good sell. I'm probably going to sell this label if it holds. May not even hold as a 5 label because it feels to me like the market is still has a way to go to the downside, right? I think we actually break the 6,000. Yesterday we tested 95, 96, 95. Another thing that's really, really helpful if you're trading, remember where you were yesterday. If you weren't trading yesterday, look it up. Remember where the lows were yesterday, because those act like magnets. Everybody knows, everybody stopped out over there. Everybody's holding, people who are holding positions on a 2 or 3 day basis. They're probably using the low of the day as a stop or somewhere around there. So hell, let's break those bitches and take them out of their trades. So the 95, 90, actually 93 was yesterday's low. I think they're gonna pull it over there. So to me, if I'm going to be trading with trend, I want to be selling the purples. I bought my little dips on the 5s, but I'm probably going to be a little bit more patient. I'm going to wait for probably 6 or 7 label on the reds in the S&P to buy those dips. I'm certainly going to wait a little bit more on the NASDAQ to buy those dips. Now, having said this, we could totally come back up to the moving average. Nobody knows, if there's lots of buy orders over here and nobody cares about testing the lows of the day, nobody's going to do it. Remember, these are all games. There's like 3 type of traders that are involved in the market, right? Probably, I don't know, maybe more, but like 3 of the major ones. There are guys who are actually trying to invest, and they usually have the biggest amount of money, and they could give a flying fuck about what you're doing on a 1-minute chart. And if they got a big order or they have to allocate, they have a big allocation, they'll come in and they'll swamp the market. They'll push it up just with their size, right? Then there's guys who are just literally scalping back and forth, and they're just looking, to buy, bid, sell, asking, or just, tiny stuff like I'm doing, just, like little parasitical moves around this thing, trying to shave their points and take it around. And then there are, market makers and hedge fund guys who are naturally trying to screw you, who know that you have all these levels, who are dying to run these levels, take out all the stops. And those guys, this investment bankers too, who are sitting on the desk, they know that the customers have stops like at the 93s. I don't know what the low yesterday was in the NASDAQ, but certainly 21,000 is a massive round number low. Would you love to break that to the downside and flush all those orders? Hell yes. So you kind of have to think in those terms, and being in those guys' heads, because most retail is actually doing the exact opposite. Most retail has no idea about what happened yesterday, why these levels are important, what's everybody thinking about. They're saying, oh, it's the Fibonacci level, it's the retrace level, it's some ICT level from 5,000 years ago where there's a liquidity grab or shit like that. It's all bullshit. 99% of what's going on is guys who are interested in what's happening today and maybe yesterday and acting upon it right now, and they're controlling your price action. So you want to be in that mindset. Buying this 6 over here, I was thinking about buying the 6 over here, the 2 that kind of worked for about a second, but again, it wasn't a great trade. I could have bought this on small size, but we'll let it go. I'm really, really interested to see if they break the 6,000. It feels to me like they want to go down that way. In fact, if you're a momentum trader, you probably just sell this 6 red label, and just hope that they flush it down. Just not my kind of trade, but you could give it a shot. There's definitely a little bit of a tug of war right now, right, between the bulls and the bears. Let's see how they break it. All right, comments. Triple bottom on, Adam says, oh, let me see. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, this is really cool. Hang on a second. I'm gonna fool around here with my show and tell. There's a triple bottom on NASDAQ. You're right, Adam. It's all the more reason why the investment banks and the hedge funds want to break the shit out of that triple bottom. Do you not think that they think that the most conventional wisdom analysis, the most obvious trade is that there's a triple bottom? So what would be the least popular move, the one that would catch most people off sides, is if you break that triple bottom and then you create a bottom, right? That would be the intelligent thing to do, right? Yes. Somewhere in the Rocky says there's HFT. HFT is literally just doing tiny size, matching bids and asks all day long. Yeah, so that's not even a strategy that we could begin to understand, much less match. So that's not what we're doing. Dr. D, look at that, boys and girls. Ooh, let me do this. Hang on a second. Let me play around with all my fun stuff here. Excuse me. What the hell is this? Oh, here we go. This is in honor of Dr. D. Dr. D, making it rain. Good job, my friend. Good job. Excellent. All right, we'll stop with the coins. I know they're annoying. Okay, let's go back to comments. When you fade for a no too much sweat trade, you wait for a second retrace. Je comprends pas, Christophe. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What are you saying? Anglais, s'il vous plaît. When I'm fading, the whole point is I'm not sweating because I have small size, right? I have so much inventory in my backup, and I'm obviously fully cognizant of what I'm doing. I'm fully cognizant that I'm going to be maybe losing once, maybe losing twice. So I got to be, we're ready for it. All right, so holding the bid here, 6,000 kind of holding. I think it's going to break, but we're a little too early. It's not that we're too early, but we need to give it a little time to see what happens. 21,000 also seems to be holding for now, which is interesting. That'll be pretty bullish if it does for the time being. But 10:05, we're far from over on this psychodrama right now. And by the way, notice that this was the V-shaped recovery, but this was an excellent short, right? The 5 was a good short, because I thought there was more downside. So if you had a bias coming in at 2s over here would have been a great short, because coming in at 3s over here you would have been able to get it right back very, very cleanly, right? So I think it's definitely helpful once you start seeing the patterns, once you start understanding what they mean. Definitely very, very helpful on the trades. Love my accent. I tried. That's what happens when you don't have English as your original language. You can actually mimic other accents. My little monkey skill for the linguistic. Okay, we got 7 over here. I'm watching this, guys. It's kind of interesting. So 601. Don't want to be buying this dip. Don't want to be buying the 76. I'm gonna be a little patient here. I'm gonna be a little patient. Maybe I'm giving up the opportunity. I don't. I'm like 45, 50% confident that this is a dip worth buying, but that's 55% not confident. So I'm just going to stand back on this thing. The reason why is because, yes, this is a double bottom. It's generally a great trade, but it's also that 6,000 level. And if they break it, it's going to fall like a waterfall for about 2 or 3 levels. So you might as well just, let them take it down before you step in. That's why, same thing over here to 2170. I think they're going to try and take NASDAQ down to 21,000. To try to break the 6,000. Honestly, not like anybody's got any conviction. The bears don't have much of a conviction. The bulls don't have much of a conviction so far. It's not like they're breaking them, with 5 levels deep. The NAS was a buy. NAS turned out to be a buy. Now NAS is kind of doing like a little bit of a vertical move back up. I may have missed this opportunity to come in, but I really was trying to be disciplined in my approaches here. Yeah, they held the 6,000. Now they're going to try to see if they can. They're not going to try and rip it to like 6,010, 611 as a V-shaped recovery. For those of you guys who liked buying the purples, this was probably a pretty good purple buy, because it's going to now they got the bulls by the balls, or the bears by the balls, and they're going to try and push it up. But I'm still waiting to see if there's a second wave to the downside. See, it's really, really cool watching the indicator to know when they're going to rip it and when they're going to fade it, right? So you can see higher. This 3 was lower than 2, 4 was higher than 3. So it's already good sign that that they kind of bottomed out. Then they had this big rip to the upside. They're going to squeeze them a little bit higher. and this was a pretty decent move. If you were quick and controlled, you could have easily made 10 points over here on the move. Now they're starting to come back down, which I sort of felt was going to happen. So let's watch this. Let's see what happens here. Now I'm actually, them having tested this 2 or 3 times, and they break it to the downside. Here, I'll take a gander on a tiny little buy if I can get it. I don't think I'm not getting a sell buy here yet. All right, it's coming down. This is the 8 label. All right, a tiny little tick over here on the 8 label. 4 seconds left. I think they're going to probably flush it even lower, but I'll be a buyer. I'm okay on this, like as an initial entry. All right, and I took out about six ticks out of it. It actually went to full 8 ticks, but you saw this. Now I'm actually really curious to see if they're going to break this lower. The sellers still have control over here. Now it's are they going to make this flush this below the 6,000? You can really see the battle on the chart, right? NAS is actually holding its own for now. NAS is definitely outperforming. Gold, by the way, is through the 73s. We're gonna come back to gold and take a look what that's doing, because I think that's going to offer us some trades as well. But let's just see what the markets are doing. Are they going to stabilize? We're going to recapture the. We're going to get the 8 label to the upside. Interesting. Let's see. Maybe not. Let's take a look at gold in this panel over here, because gold is doing a nice vertical move. Okay, so gold is beautiful for us. Gold is like super high up. Would I love to? In a perfect world, I'd love to sell the 75s, which am I going to get the 75s? Maybe we'll do that. So we'll do a little bit of gold here, and I'm a little bit early. 73.6s. Again, small size on gold. Can I get into gold? Okay, here's my gold position, and I'm sort of fishing for my trade, while this is trying to see if it's a bottom. This I'm kind of betting on the fact that we're pretty close to the top. Now this is not a setup of mine. This is just a level trade. We're super extended off the moving averages. We're walking way away off the short-term moving average. So it's pretty easy. 15 ticks, close position, and I'm done. And nice easy money, up $500 for the day. Could have done this larger, but again, I'm trading small because I want to control myself, and I want to control you guys. I'd rather have you guys hit the ground strokes well than try to go for the big swings. For the big swings, the big swings will come. You can get larger size ones to get more confident. Anybody take that gold trade with me? I'm just curious. Okay, Christophe, if the thing breaks 6,000, well, here's the problem is that I took my eye off this thing. There's 2 possibilities here, right? That it's a weak break, so they test the 6,000 and boom, they bring it right back up, and that's it. It's all she wrote. Or this is just a slow grind higher. In other words, they're gonna try and take this up. Like my vibe is that I'd rather be a seller of 7 here. You don't even get a sell. You don't even get it. I'd rather be, seller at the 603, 604 level here, because I think they're going to try to grind it a little bit lower. I don't think as I said, I think they want to test yesterday's lows, right? So I didn't get a chance to trade the S&P because I was focused on gold. But Miguel, you take the gold? Miguel Toreador, very nice. Miguel trades with me every day. He's a much, much better trader than I am. And I guarantee you he's probably booked about 5 times the profit that I did today. What else are you doing? Good job. Good job, Miguel. Hey, Rocky. I can either trade or direct the show. So, so I'll try to remove them as possible. But, I took it off right now. When I have time, I'll take them off. See, okay, so the kind of holding, right? So it looks like it was a weak test of the 6,000. Sort of interesting. In the next half hour, we'll see how it trades. If the next half hour we're back up to the moving average, then definitely. But I think we're still going to stick around here. It'll be interesting to see, and maybe we're going to scrape the bottom for a little bit. Gold did a nice, beautiful recovery back from the 550 all the way to 572. So now we get the 18 level. So here's gold. Wow, it's not giving it to me. But I was going to say, if we get the 18 level to the top side, beautiful, beautiful possibility for a short for us, because it's obviously super exhausted. If it goes to 75, 77, just gives us more opportunity to get at better levels. If it gives me a green label over here, right? So that's how I read the charts. That's how we do it here today. I got a meeting, guys, so I got to run because the boss is yelling at me. We got to have an early meeting. But today was a good day, another great day. We had a great week this week. It's just been like absolutely. Let me show you. Let me pull up the week for you guys. Just really zero stress. Let me see what I did. I wonder if I could do this week. They're coming up. Sometimes Trade of 8. Sometimes Trade of 8 reports just don't show up because I think the cloud. It's not showing up. I can't show it to you guys. Sorry, guys. Next week, I started the week at 250. I am at 253, 527 and 91 cents. Right here. I mean, you can see the account. I'll just so you know I'm not bullshitting you. See, here's the account. Right. I just can't get the report because the report is not the cloud is not working in Trade of 8. But it's really been the sort of very little, and I'm working TraderFest, so I'm just not even trading. I'm not even focusing. It's been a super easy trade. Just doing this, working levels, working moving averages, working moving average separations, working count labels, and working size. Just 4 ingredients to a stress-free trading life. That should be like my next video. 4 ingredients to a stress-free trading life. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Everybody, please, 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 my friends at Apex, go out there, get the accounts. They're wonderful. Okay. Discounts galore. Miguel says, no, I'm better for sure. I am not, Miguel. You're much better than me. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Here's, by the way, also for those of you guys who are doing things. Oh, I want to tell you. So we're not trading tomorrow. Obviously, we never trade on Fridays. But please come to TraderFest for another reason. If you are, you know what? One last thing. Let's do a really, really quick poll. I want to do this poll. Just a yes, no. Please answer this for me because I'm really, really curious. Hang on. Where's my other poll? Can I close the poll? Why is my poll? When can I start this? Close. Oh, I can't start a poll. Is my poll still open somewhere? Oh, I wonder where it is. I don't know why I can't start a poll. All right. Anyways, I was going to ask you if you use MetaTrader, if you trade with MetaTrader, I'm going to have a free trading tool for you that's going to blow your mind. So come to TraderFest just for that. Anybody who comes is going to get this this trading tool, and it's awesome for. By the way, look at this. Look, while I'm bullshitting around, look at the 6,000 breaks. Like I said, like a stone. Right now we get kind of interesting. Now label number 9, label number 10. Those are going to be interesting buys for us, and 18, 19 are going to be interesting sells. That's where we want to be. Okay, trading the edges. Thank you guys. Thank you. Super great. Dr. D gets the fist bump today for passing the test. As you can see, a lot of guys in my room passed these prop tests. Less people pass the prop test than are accepted in Ivy League universities, and I beat them all. So come join us. Let me give you the PTP link if you guys want to join me in my coaching next week. And here's a link to getting the indicator. Everybody enjoy. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. It was a really, really fun session, really fun week. God, if every week is like this, I'll be a happy puppy. I'll see you guys next week. I'll see you guys at TraderFest on Saturday. Everybody enjoy. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.